Yeah. And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Go Home Wrestling Show. My name is EJ. Alongside with me, two degenerates, but they are good guys. Matt Griff and D-Shep. Say hello to everyone in chat.
Hello.
There you go.
Hello, Twitch universe.
And of course, normally we start off with busting each other's balls, but this week is going to be a little bit different as bad news this past Sunday as we lost two legendary wrestlers in the world of professional wrestling. Of course, the first one that we learned of was Nikolai Volkov, and 70 years old. Still, I mean, it was a long life, but it still seems kind of young, especially, in this day and age. You hear people that go far beyond that, but that must be, the long-term effects of wrestling. And then, of course, Brian Christopher, we find out 90 minutes after the passing of Nikolai Volkov. Pretty much, it was a bad way to go, but, yeah, 46 years old. And, I mean, we're all old enough to see that we were old enough to see both of these guys wrestle in their time. D-Shep, do you have any memories as far as like Nikolai Volkov or Brian Christopher, a.k.a. Grandmaster Sexy? Any quick memories? Funny memories? Anything?
Shit. I got poor network. You hear me just fine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a thing pop up say poor network. Anyway.
Yeah, you're good.
Not too much from...
Oh.
Vaguely when he came back in the mid-80s-ish, I think it was. But really, honestly, didn't remember too much about him. Grandmaster Sexy, on the other hand, though, when I first got hooked on wrestling in the 90s, I liked Too Cool, but it was like the first wrestlers my parents got into because they started getting into wrestling around the time I was because I was watching it all the time. And them and combined with Rikishi was just absolutely hilarious. And,
it was a great trio. Yeah, it
and
definitely
a little
was.
side note, if you all haven't seen his casket yet, you need to Google that or whatever, because this man had a Pittsburgh Penguins casket, and then he had GSM, and then wrote Grandmaster Sexy right under it on the top of the casket. I mean, talk about going out in style.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't see that. No, things like that. I don't know. I get creeped out by it.
It was so over the top. It made it. I don't know if less real was the right words,
yeah.
But it made it a little more less somber.
All right. And Matt Griff, I mean, any memories with Nikolai Volkov or Grandmaster?
Well,
you can recall?
Volkov, I mean, some of my favorite memories of him was watching him fight one of my favorites in Terry Funk. Their matches were always fantastic. And talk about old school, just knocking the lights out of each other. Love those matches. Grandmaster Sexy, going right there with D-Shep. I mean, Too Cool. I had a blast watching those, and especially seeing them jump in the ring and throw the glasses on Rikishi, and all three of them break it down. Always a lot of fun. Got a good kick out of it.
Yeah, I love that Too Cool character. Even though he had a good run as, like, when he was making that push to build up the light heavyweight division with him, Taka Michinoku, and believe it or not, Edge was a part of that for a second. But, yeah, the Too Cool thing was great for him. And my memory is the Royal Rumble 2000, which popped up often in social media on Facebook and Twitter, where they were showing that video of all three of them in the ring, and they were dancing in the middle of the Royal Rumble, and then, of course, Rikishi threw their asses out. But, yay, every man for himself. He had to explain that. But that was one of my favorite moments. Now, as far as Nikolai Volkov, I was a big fan of the rivalry with Hogan in the mid-'80s. A lot of people kind of forget about that. You don't hear about that much. They had a good run where they had a 6-month stretch of matches between them two. The most famous one, and they got it on network, 1985, Saturday night's main event. I highly recommend it. Really good match between the two. I've seen that quite a few times. And As a matter of fact, now that we're talking about it, I want to watch it again tonight before I go to bed. So Saturday night's main event, 85. Make sure you check that out. After that, I mean, we had an interesting week in the world of professional wrestling. But let's go right into it, I guess. It's week in review. You guys ready for Raw?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Maybe.
Okay, here we go. All right. Well,
I might need this in a little bit to just off myself after we talk about Raw.
Anthony Bourdain style, no problem. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's keep that on the rack. Let's put a kibosh on that for a few. Since this kid tragedy was technically that, let's keep the jokes. let's lay off them just for tonight. All right. Opening segment, of course, you gotta have Roman Reigns in the beginning part. Well, him and Paul Heyman go back and forth. And before that, I forgot the actual thing they did the initial Brock Lesnar Heyman in the backstage. He said he wasn't coming out. Then Reigns comes out, tries to call out Brock. Brock doesn't call him out.
It was actually a pretty good promo. You might check your mic there, EJ. I think you came unplugged. But it was a
Thank you.
pretty good promo. You're still pretty
Yeah,
distant.
it still sounds a little weird.
Does it?
No, sir.
You're kidding.
I mean, we still hear you, just you sound different.
Right.
You're like the Terminator voice right now.
But I'll dive into this while you work on that. I loved it. I actually really enjoyed the promo from Roman Reigns. It was almost
How about now?
It was the same, but a little bit different.
Better.
Okay, there you go. All right, go ahead.
It's a lot of the same stuff from him, but it seemed like he had a little more edge to him this time. And I, believe it or not, I actually bought into some of the crap that he was selling this week, unlike the 500 weeks before. And of course, Heyman's Heyman. He's always great on the mic. So I actually enjoyed the segment. It was decent opening segment, at least on Raw standards.
Yeah, I agree with you as far as Roman Reigns. He didn't sound like a robot. It came out organically. At least it came out that way. It seemed like it wasn't forced. He had emotion to it. And, of course, yeah, you're right with Heyman. Heyman knocks it out of the park. That's the one thing you could say about that bastard is that he's great on the mic. D-Shep, what did you think of that segment? I mean, did it do anything for you as far as anticipating the Universal title?
If it was anybody else, I would have said that was pretty good. My only issue with that is why do they with someone like John Cena, I understand.
Yeah.
He has that credibility. But why is it Roman's the only one that's allowed to talk that over-the-top aggressive, say bitch, say ass, and do all this other shit that nobody else seems to be allowed to do? I get it with John Cena, and I get it because they're pushing Roman, yeah, whatever. Mm-hmm. But to me, without the edginess,
mm-hmm.
Roman's absolute trash on the mic. Plain and simple, without that aggression side of it. And that's why I don't think it's organic like you guys might, because he's the only one allowed to do it. And you have to question why.
Because they want to build him up.
Yeah.
That's their guy. So, yeah, he's going to be like
well,
John
that's
Cena.
just it then. Is that really organic then?
Yeah, because
he's not being real, he's not being true if he's the only one that's allowed to be like that. That's my only issue with it.
Yeah, I think.
Can you imagine if you got a lit promo from someone like Seth Rollins going up against McIntyre next week, and he was allowed to talk like Roman talks? We'd all be fired up about it.
It would be close to Attitude Era. Yeah, I could agree with you on that. But I think he has that kind of like freedom because that's going to be their guy.
I just don't feel like he's earned that freedom, and that's why I can't buy into the promo maybe as much as you guys did. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but just for me, I can't buy into something that feels forced still.
Okay, can I ask you a question? You just hit something there I want to ask you. Why do you think he doesn't deserve it?
Because it's not organic. As you guys just kind of said, it's a little bit, you felt it. Well, that's just it. For me, I have not felt it.
No. Why does he deserve to have that chance to be able to speak like that? Do you feel like because he didn't come up like...
For me, he hasn't earned it. If he earns it, and he earns it in a way that he's doing what everybody else is allowed to do, or they turn him heel, or, just that he's... I'm trying with Cena when he was coming up. You felt like he was earning it all on the way, and you could love him or hate him from there and make your own judgment. With Roman, I feel like they just force you that you have to be here when you might want to be here because he's the only one allowed to be on the edge. I don't know, but for me, I just don't know how to get someone like me around on him. I just don't.
Okay, because I thought you were going... How's that sound, by the way? Is that okay?
Okay-ish.
Yeah, it seems like it's coming through the mic on your actual desktop instead of the snowball mic.
Yeah.
You what? Like my camera? You're talking about?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me try one more thing. All right, how's that?
Same.
It is?
Keep talking.
Hello.
A little more clear, but not...
Is it sounding robotic? Because I heard you guys say that.
Slightly. I don't know what to call it. It's just, it's a
My internet's good, so it's not that. What the hell is it? It's always got to be something.
You might check your devices on Skype. Mine reset the other day to where it automatically went back to my computer instead of the mic setting.
Okay, let me check. There we go. Audio. Snowball. Yeah. Hello.
It wouldn't be the podcast without something.
Exactly. I'm sorry. That's weird because I haven't done anything.
I wouldn't focus too much on it. It's honestly tolerable. It's not worth all the hassle.
Oh, okay. All right, no problem. No, the reason I was asking that is because I didn't know if you were going along the lines with because he didn't go up the way like Daniel Bryan or Finn Balor that went through the indie system. That's what I thought you were going with as far as like Roman didn't earn that.
Well, I mainly meant that we know he's the guy, so let's not give him the shortcuts in the promos that other guys aren't allowed to get. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be the guy no matter what. So why does he need to do that stuff too? I don't understand it. Because that's not winning anybody extra over is just my thought. It doesn't feel right to me.
Okay, my question for you then. You think that was the first time they'd done this?
Oh, hell no.
Stone Cold. Look what he did at King of the Ring. And then he kept doing it. No one told him to shut up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you just... I don't know if it was his presentation with it, but you felt the rebelness more than you do with Roman. I can't explain why. I have no words to explain it. So it's kind of a waste of time to even ask me. It just felt more real. And this feels like he's just the company man.
All right. Well, I've always said that the guy that, whoever they feel is going to be the guy is obviously going to have not as much limitations as the other guys. You've seen it with Stone Cold. You've seen it with Triple H. There were some things he could do that a lot of people weren't able to do, even during the Attitude Era when he was the guy. Just that's the way it is. Hogan probably got away with a lot more in the 80s than most of the guys in the locker room. That just is. When you're the guy, of course you're going to get away with a lot more. Because I've seen it with John Cena with his promos when he'll rip people apart. And I bet you there's some things they could really go after him and bury him. But they probably wouldn't let him do it because that would make Cena look bad. So that's what I'm saying. Even though a lot of people will really go after Roman, but he's going to be able to fight back and he'll have no limitations to make sure he stays on top. All right. So I felt the promo was good. I felt he was more natural than usual. I see that he's getting a little bit better in the mic. And it was an interesting opening segment, even though it was Roman Reigns. But so we go from that to another match with Baron Corbin and Finn Balor. Now this went 3 segments, 2-3 commercial breaks, which is really weird.
3.
3. It was 3. Okay, which was kind of weird for a match like that one. I would think if any match you're going to do that. Joe, we won't have the phone system in tonight, buddy. That's the guy I work with. The one thing with the whole, I'm sorry, the one match they should have done was, in my opinion, McIntyre and Seth Rollins. But they kind of went along with this match. So I'll ask you, D-Shep, right away. What did you think of the match with Corbin and Balor? Even though it's, the third one they had?
If there was only one commercial break, I would have been down with it. But I was invested for, the first half of it. But then when they went to that second commercial break, I was like, really? And then you had the commercial break, obviously, after the match before finally it came back with something different. So that's why, it's 3. But when they went to the second one, I just lost interest. I was like, okay. I ain't got much to say. It was a great match for 20 minutes, but after 40, I was like, I'm over it.
Okay. Well, I thought it was a pretty good match either way. I felt this was to get him over because he, lost the big one back at Extreme Rules, and it didn't look good the last time, so he had to get even.
It's 50-50 booking.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah, I know. Everyone got a participation trophy. I know. But it was an entertaining match. Should have gone as long as it did? Probably not, in my opinion. But I don't know. Do you agree or disagree with that, Magriff?
I'm pretty sick of seeing them all together. I mean, get them in there. Maybe a 1-segment type match is what I would expect to see out of them from Raw now. To me, it's the same thing over and over. I'm tired of it. Come on, guys. Let's build something else on Raw. Maybe that's something you could have taken towards Lashley, a Corbin-Lashley deal. That might have been fun leading into SummerSlam.
Yeah, or even if it was a pay-per-view match, you could see a half hour, 40 minutes. This made no sense for a Raw match. I know it's 3 hours, but goddamn, they can't be hurting for ideals that much.
Obviously they are. Well, my question to you...
I know,
yeah, I know. My question to you, though. Okay, if they were to do these matches, they want to build onto a match at SummerSlam. Yes, you got 3 hours where you could probably have other talent grow and show themselves that they could be the next guy. Why not put them in this segment like back in the day with WWE? They would have them on the Brother Love show, and there was something would happen that would build on the storyline. They just don't do anything like that today. Do you think that's a little outdated, and that's why they don't go with that kind of style anymore? Or do you think it's laziness at this point with the writing? That they won't do anything like that.
I don't know. Is it really laziness with the writing, or is it just total disregard? Because if you just have rematch after rematch every fucking week,
that's what I'm talking about.
What are you writing exactly?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You could do it other ways. They did it back in the day. Well, here's the thing. Back in the day, when they were building a storyline, you had 4 pay-per-views. You had a Saturday morning syndicated show where the guys would face local scrubs and not face another superstar as you would, as they do today. They face each other almost every week. That's my point. Can they do something else other than the usual match every week?
Yeah, just have a normal Finn Balor match and have Corbin come down there and beat his ass in the middle of it.
Exactly.
Or something.
It could be as simple as that.
Anything. But I mean, it's hard to be invested in a Balor match nowadays anyway. But I get that the match was to build up Corbin, and I get there's more than likely going to be a tiebreaker on the kickoff show or some shit. But yeah.
Again, yeah, I agree with that. And so you didn't think the match was good at all, despite how long it was?
If I was just grading the match, I would give it about a 3.
Okay, that's good enough. That's fair enough.
Okay. I'd be right in line with that.
Okay. All right, we agree on that. There you go. All right, so did the match do anything for the storyline, though? I'll go with you. Nah?
Nah.
Okay. All right.
No.
I wish they could just do something. I feel it is lazy a little bit. There's ways you can do it.
They don't want to miss their golf tee time. Let's just do what we did last week and roll on.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Because SmackDown, you get a different show every week. Raw, it's the same thing over and over. It's like, how do people watch it? And that's why, well, let's be honest, the ratings are dropping on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. And then what do you hear about SmackDown week in and week out? Their ratings going up and up and up, and there's a reason for it. No repetition whatsoever. All right, so we go along from another Finn Balor Corbin match to Natalya and Alicia Fox. Well, I don't know if I got to ask D-Shep anything, but I'm going to anyway. What the fuck?
You're going to be surprised here.
Oh, wow. Just as surprising as me putting a girl number 1 last week? Go ahead.
Or as surprising as me maybe having 2 this week.
Oh, okay.
I was highly entertained. This was not a wrestling match. There was not no technician stuff, natty, whatever. But I don't know why, but Alicia Fox is the most entertaining female heel ever. She's not the most logical heel, but she's the most unorthodox heel I think you've ever seen. And I can't get enough of her. Entertainment-wise, wrestling-wise, yeah, she's probably decent at best. But just her weird outbursts and mannerisms she has all the time, I'm always entertained by her. And I love the switch of whatever the storyline really actually is of switching Mickie James out for Alicia, because it needed something else anyway, because Mickie James, to be honest, hasn't been really cutting the mustard lately. So I think Alicia adds a little spice to it.
It was different. I will say that. I found it a pretty good match. Now, here's the thing, though. Did it do anything for the Bliss and Rousey, despite the out-of-ring antics and everything that went on? Did it do anything to build that storyline?
In the short term, I would say no, but in the long term, you don't know what to ever expect from Alicia Fox, so you have no idea what she is going to be all involved with at SummerSlam.
Okay.
So for the potential, it could be, but in the short term, it didn't really do much for the feud per se.
Okay. All right, Magriff, what were your thoughts on the match?
Well, I'm kind of right there in line with D-Shep on this. The match itself was decent at best. I would have called it a really good filler for the match. But like he was saying with Alicia Fox, I love the character she is playing. She's just so off the wall. You never know what she's going to say. Mm-hmm. I love that character. It's a lot of fun. Natalya is who Natalya is. You're going to get the same thing week in, week out. But it was definitely something different for Raw in general to plug somebody else in and just have some kind of change instead of repetitive even with the women. So for that side, I actually enjoyed this.
Okay. And I thought it was a pretty good match as well. I just felt like they could have done something else to build up the Bliss and Rousey feud instead of what they did. Even though you're going to get Rousey facing Fox, because that's what happened after the match. They were backstage with Kurt Angle, got that match. But I felt they missed something there on the build for that match. Would you say that, or?
I think in the short term you can say that, but in the long term I feel like when you watch a movie, sometimes you get to be continued at the end.
Yeah.
And this is case in point for that, because you are anticipating some shit going down in the Divas match next week. And you have to wonder, too, why did they decide to do the switch to have Ronda versus Alicia instead of Ronda versus Mickie James? I wonder if there's more to that than we don't know. But
Could be something.
It's a classic TV show, end of the season finale, and you got the cliffhanger. This was a cliffhanger situation.
Yeah, it's from what I've kind of heard. I believe Mickie James is out on a little injury that she's supposed to be back from in a couple weeks. But
yeah,
that's
the
I don't know how
timing
true
of it
that
all
is.
just seems odd.
It could be accurate, despite for the fact that she hasn't been on TV in a week. She was on last week, but not this week. But it could be just that. Okay.
But wouldn't it be kind of awkward at this point if she's off until SummerSlam, and all of a sudden at SummerSlam Alicia's gone and Mickey's back? That would be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would almost think you're gonna have to carry with Fox throughout SummerSlam and then bring her back.
Hope so.
Yeah, could be that. They could go that way. But you know what it is, Raw? Oh, never mind, Alicia. Okay, here.
All bets are off.
Yep. At the end of the day, maybe I'm not all the way there, but I'm like, this is like the first time I've been invested in a female feud in a while. Because, I'm interested to see how this is all going to get together here.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, country? Okay, so we go for...
Country's just waiting for this later.
Yeah, that's obviously. In a little bit, this guy's going to be pretty much having a heart attack on there, so I can't wait. It will get us...
Yeah, I'm going to probably start a little bit past the halfway point because I want to be able to sleep tonight and not be half dead.
Acid reflux, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, what you're going to have because you're like 50 years old. Okay.
Smackdown prep show right there.
There we
you
go.
Like that?
Going along.
You made my wife laugh, so there you go.
Yeah, for your suffering. See?
Not to do it, so if he suffers, it's his own fault.
Oh, okay. Damn, shots fired.
The funny thing is I've never ate anything related to them gnarly peppers either. Never.
Oh,
nothing.
really?
Not the chip thing, not the sauces, nothing.
Oh, boy.
I know.
Oh, you're in for it. What's up, Great One? Great One's in chat, too. Welcome, my friend. Okay, so we go from a pretty good match, a decent match, to what the fuck kind of segment. And what I'm talking about is the Elias Lashley. Now, this sounds a little fucked up, but we had two horrible tragedies on Sunday. Did we experience a third one on Monday night with Bobby Lashley?
Actually, no.
Wow. Hold on. I got it.
No.
How?
How? Do you remember the reaction you had the first time that Braun Strowman came out with that big ass guitar?
Okay, that was
it was.
Yeah, that was funny.
Did anybody in their right mind think Bobby Lashley was going to actually sing when Elias asked him to?
He did.
I know, but did anybody think he was gonna when Elias asked him, real reason you came out here is to sing along with me? Did anybody expect Bobby Lashley to start singing right then and there? Nobody expected
hold on.
that. There's no way.
I'll give you an example of what happened.
Funny as hell. That was funny as hell.
It was funny as hell. But if you're in the eyes of the fan, you just buried the guy. It's like a 400-pound guy, jacked, walking up to you, and you think he's going to... And then he comes up to you and goes, "Hey, do you have a directions to the nearest store?" Like really? Like, it killed it for me.
I don't think it buried him, though, because it showed a different side to his character. At least he's not coming out...
He's an ass kicker. That's what he should be doing.
Smiling all the fucking time. At least he's not out there...
No, he should look angry all the time. He's an ass kicker. He shouldn't be showing that side.
But he's not a heel, though. He's not a heel. He's not going to look angry all the time.
You could be an ass kicker and be a face. We've seen it.
So
Stone
you
Cold.
When Roman Reigns shows different sides to his character, but the moment Bobby Lashley does, he's weird.
He's the fucking main guy. He should be showing all that. Just like they're prepping Strowman to be that guy. That's why you're getting all those sides from him. Lashley is a one-dimensional guy. That's where he should be at this point.
So
It's a
what
bit-
would you? So when he came out there, what would you have him do? Just
beat the fuck
shit
out of Elias.
and that was
Yes.
it? And just
But
walk
actually,
out?
do a swerve, thinking that he would, like, you know what, I want to play the guitar. And then he just cracks him in the fucking head with it. That's how you do it. Because obviously they're building
Supposedly,
something between
I'm
these
the
two.
one that complains about every little thing.
No, I
Look at
don't
you,
complain. I don't complain about everything.
Bitter ass mother.
I am not bitter. I just saw something different from you. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. That's your opinion. My opinion, and how I interpret it, is he was buried that night.
Well, then how about we let the tiebreaker speak and see where this falls out?
Oh, he's going to take your side because you guys are in cahoots. I'm left hanging because the other guy decided not to show up tonight. Go on.
Well, and you're gonna laugh because I'm actually gonna split the difference in both of y'all.
Oh, of course. Right down the middle, Mr. Freaking. All right, go ahead. Let's hear it.
But
Power
I mean,
50.
to me, it wasn't that great of a segment. I like the potential that this could have going forward.
Hmm.
But to me, it almost seems like they're throwing two guys into this, saying, "All right, we've tried different things with y'all. You're not proving anything, so here it is: sink or swim. Show us what you can do." And that's what this whole thing feels like between
Yeah,
Elias
it
and
wasn't
Lashley
a
to me.
great segment. I will admit that. It was funny to me.
It
though.
was,
It wasn't a great
yeah.
segment, though, for a potentially great feud. There's no fucking way.
But it was the start of it. That's what it's going to be. And that's to take him out of the title picture for now. And obviously he'll get reinserted back in. But right now, whatever's going to happen at SummerSlam is going to happen. Until then, he's probably going to feud with Elias. Because you also got to do something with him at this point. He's got a new album. They got to keep him, on TV in some kind of way involved so they can promote.
I don't mind the feud. It was just I will admit, it was a weird start to the feud, though. Absolutely.
It was.
And I know what your idea is of Lashley coming out and smashing him with the guitar. But in all honesty, if they do something to that extent, you're just flipping that shovel around and burying Elias. So it's kind of, how are you going to make them both look decent there? Because they're both in a bad spot. They're
Oh, yeah, I get
on
your
their-
point.
They're
I get
on
your
their
point.
way to Balor level here.
I'll get your point. How could I do it at this point without hurting either one?
Yeah. So I honestly think
It's
they
hard.
did what they could do to.
But you know what? Maybe
Make it believable.
sometimes it takes that moment where you get caught off guard, and then Elias can redeem himself from that moment. You can go that route. It doesn't always have to be that DQ finish. There's going to be times where one guy gets over on the other in some kind of way. There's always a winner at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
and there don't always have to be a fucking rematch or
Yeah.
rematches.
Yeah. So, you know what? It could have worked. It could go that way. I'm just saying. That's me. But I just didn't like how Lashley was singing. He should be destroying motherfuckers.
Well, if you weren't excited about that feud, you're not going to be excited about the next feud.
And what's that one? Braun Strowman and Jinder Mahal?
Oh, God.
And that's what happened next. Of course, for a short match, it did explain one thing now. Because obviously Strowman's not going to be facing Mahal at SummerSlam, but I felt they were smart with one thing. For once, I'm saying they were smart with the storytelling. Okay? Did you pick up something from that matchup? I'm going to ask you, D-Shep. What?
I didn't pick up nothing.
What did you pick up, Magriff? I'm sure, because I saw him smirking
I was
there.
so disinterested. Honestly, I didn't pay much attention to it.
Okay, go ahead. Magriff saw something.
Well, it just shows that Kevin Owens might be able to outsmart him to win a match. And that's
I mean, that
basically
was
what it boils
funny.
into.
I mean, yeah.
It just showed that he could lose in any way.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened, because he let his emotions get to him, he ran out of the ring, forgot about the match, got counted out. Which is one of the rules that Kevin Owens put as a stipulation for the match. He loses in any way, he gets the briefcase. What's up, Luke? Welcome, buddy. That I felt they did a good job with. The match,
No, from that aspect, yeah. I mean,
That's all it was.
kind of
It
play
wasn't
up
a
on
legitimate
the
match.
stipulation.
that's all it was. And you know what I said about 10 minutes ago? That come up with a unique way to build on a storyline without having them face each other all the time. There it is. I felt they did that
True.
without putting them in the ring at the same time. you had them together. They were both on camera, but Owens tried to outsmart him, and there you go. Now, is that going to happen at SummerSlam? We'll find out. I felt they knocked it out of the park for once. They actually did something good, so I'm going to give them a round of applause for that. Golf clap. Golf clap. So, I know. Hey,
You did that all by yourself.
Hey, I thought they did good for once. Because they actually built on a story without putting them in the match for the 50th time. And they explained the stipulation perfectly. I felt they did pretty good with that. Okay? Now, one thing I got to ask for you guys. As far as heels are concerned in the company right now, where would you rank Kevin Owens? I'll start with you, Magriff. Where would you rank him as a heel?
Man, I've been going back and forth on this, but I know he's in my top 3, but I can't tell you if I got him number 2 or 3 right now.
Who's number 1?
Miz, or no doubts about that. Miz is number 1.
Okay. What about you, D-Shep? Where would you rank him?
I honestly barely have him in the top 5.
Ooh.
Well, kind of hard right now with Randy Orton and Shinsuke just on fire.
Oh, man.
Miz had his one off week, so he's still top 3. So I couldn't put Kevin Owens. Samoa Joe even I would put ahead.
I was gonna say I'm number 5 with him.
He has to be 5, and the only reason is because his heel, unlike Orton and everybody else's heel, is the passive kind. What's that word I'm trying to think of? The chicken shit version heel.
Yeah, you gotta like that.
It's not that in-your-face heel,
No,
like you're accustomed to, like doing dirty tactics and whatnot. When Kevin Owens does it, he does it and then runs away. It's
a classic '80s heel.
But on the mic, I would put him potentially top 3 heel. But if you got the whole package, I would say
Chris.
barely top 5.
Okay, all right. Well, I put him as 5.
Fair.
I think he's because he got Shinsuke and then Randy Orton when he plays that character, like what he did 10 years ago when he would punt guys in the head, that viperish character that he has, dude.
We got a raid, not to interrupt.
Oh, Chris Carson raid. Okay, well, thank you for the raid.
That's one of my guys, Chris Carson. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah. So I put him at number 5. Shinsuke, his best work in the company is as a heel, so he's up there because of that. And yeah, I'm with you, Matt Griff, because number 1 is The Miz. On the mic, as a character, he's a classic heel. And why this guy gets so much shit is beyond me. I don't know why people hate him.
Because he's doing his job.
He's got such a hot wife, and it's up in your face, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like...
All right, so we go from... I thought a good build to a SummerSlam match.
No.
To Apollo Crews versus Akam. Now, one thing I will say, can I preface this before I ask you guys what I'm going to ask you? They were both talented guys. Apollo Crews should have been on Smackdown still. He was doing a great job over there, building his character. His stock is going up, goes over the wall, goes right down. And then you got a tag team of the Authors of Pain, killed in NXT, come up to the main roster, they disappear, and then they come back, and this is what you got. Okay, I want to start with you on this one, Magriff. What did you think of the match?
This was my time of Raw where I went and got my snacks.
Okay, D-Shep.
It's just...
No, go ahead.
Well, to be honest, this should not be a feud. It should have just been a one-off.
Yeah.
This is just retarded waste of time.
It is.
And the more single matches, tag matches, 6-man tags, whatever you throw all these guys together in, it's just a colossal waste of time.
Well,
it's doing nothing for...
Yeah.
Maybe you can say it's doing more for Titus Worldwide than it is AOP, but it ain't doing jack shit for AOP.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And hold on. Oh, there you go. Now, with you on that, but Apollo Crews about a year ago was challenging, or about a year and a half ago, challenging for the Intercontinental Championship. And here he is now doing a filler match on Raw. That's a huge drop-off. And then what they're doing to the tag team division on Raw is even bad. It's a travesty. Because when you take a badass group like that, and not only were run off by Titus Worldwide, and now you just had one of the guys lose to Apollo Crews, even though Apollo Crews is talented. I'm just saying that. But when you look at the two, who would you think will win? Really?
Well, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. That's my point. So you're already killing these badass guys that you built in NXT, and you bring them up to the main roster, and you're killing them. It's hurting the stock pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
All right.
It can't do. Yeah, it can't do anything good the way they're going.
Yeah, so we're all in agreement that this Titus Worldwide feud, I guess you would call it, is not good for them.
No.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
In chat, Chris Carson says Apollo has no charisma, and it translates to the official. You could, I guess that's probably why they put him with Titus, but why not bring Titus over to SmackDown then?
Well, and my whole deal with the Apollo, I like the talent. I think there could be something there, but you got to get him away from Titus. I think Titus is what's really bringing Apollo down.
Oh, you think so?
I would agree with that.
What do you think, like, because they're limited too, do you think if they were given some leeway that he probably could bring something out is probably why he got hired from the WWE? You get what I'm saying? Like, there's something that he could probably do organically, something that he could build and not them, that will probably get him over. But because there are limitations, it's not happening for him.
And here's the only way I could see things working with him. You know the freedom we talked about Roman Reigns having on the mic at the beginning of the show?
It's up 13. Go ahead. Yeah.
Give that same freedom to Titus and let Titus just be the straight mouthpiece for Apollo. And that's it. No more tag team matches. Just be the mouthpiece and give Titus freedom to do whatever he needs to on the mic. He could sell the product then.
Yeah, I don't wait.
I would honestly turn them heel. It's just my personal opinion. The only
Really?
reason I say that is because if they turn heel, I won't have to hear Titus O'Neil fucking bark anymore. That is so fucking annoying. As soon as he starts barking, I completely lose interest in whatever he's doing. But he's a big motherfucker. Apollo, athletic as hell.
He
agree.
is.
No fucking charisma to say. There's just nothing there. But as heels, my God, they could be fairly good.
Well, anyone can be good as heel.
And Roman Reigns freedom, like you were talking about on the mic.
Yeah.
I think it would be better if they got it while being heels than if they got it while being face. Because I think if they got it while face, it would just be more fucking barking.
All right. Okay.
I like it.
Triple H, you've been told Titus he has no charisma to him on a BG series on WWE Network. Oh, wow.
Yeah, you don't even need charisma to be heels, though. You just be loud badasses.
Well, hold on. Prime example, Ciampa.
Yeah.
That says a lot more than anyone else. Yeah, any face can do. That little maniacal freaking wave he does.
Which, by the way, that guy gets put as top heel over
Jesus, yes.
Kevin Owens too. I mean, that dude is knocking.
Well,
it
if
out
you put him,
hard.
on main roster, you know the Miz will get pushed aside immediately from me.
Yeah, it's close.
No,
for me.
I'll say why. Okay, how does Miz come out and you hear asshole? No, you won't hear anything like that. They go along with it with the Miz TV and all that. But when Ciampa comes out,
think you're not going to hear that asshole for Ciampa
I know.
on the main roster.
Oh, I know
They're
you.
gonna tune that shit out. They're going to tune that
they
shit
they
out.
will.
There's no way.
They won't on the
treat
pay-per-view.
NXT like the old school ECW. They'll let you chant what the fuck ever. You're not going to be able to do them same chants on the main roster. Would we love it? Sure, but
Yeah.
there's no.
Apollo got sent up too quickly to hurt his progression.
I agree with that.
Well, now that Bobby Lashley's back, the real Apollo, you could say, do we really need Apollo anymore? I mean, when the first time you all seen Apollo, before he did that flip thing off the turnbuckle, wasn't he pretty much his mini Bobby Lashley? I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Okay, well, let's move along. Enough on bashing Cruz and Titus Worldwide. Yeah, that would go bankrupt anyway. No problem. Get a bailout. Let's move along to the big match. Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. Another match where they knocked it out of the park. To me, dude, they can't fail. These two are so over in their own ways. From start to finish, I was captivated. I was into the match. Very good match. I'm going to start with you, T-Shep. What did you think of the match?
You really can't say much about this in a way. It's what you want a match to be. This is classic. You get the popcorn ready. You sit down, kick your feet up, relax, watch it, and you really have no complaints afterwards. Plain and simple.
What would his gimmick be if he got sent up in time anyways? You're going with the Apollo. I don't know. To go back on that, I'm sorry, I didn't see that question, so I do apologize. My ADD got the best of me here, and I happened to see that question. I don't know where you would go with. Obviously, you want to go with the heel with him. I think that would bring more out of him than face. Face, you got limitations. Heel, you have no limits. So that's why I think Roman would be even better on the mic. So going along with you, Matt Griff, what did you think of the match?
How lucky are they? They originally booked this match a few weeks ago. They fell into absolute gold with these two.
Yes, they
like
did.
D-Shep was saying, this is one of those, you get your snack, you kick back, you relax, and then you do the replay on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and the way they're building it is perfect. They're not putting one over the other.
Yep.
They're making a great build to where this could really lead into, I don't know, maybe end up being a WrestleMania-type match.
Yeah, this is one where you just don't mind if they have the rematch every week. You just kick back and relax.
It's that incredible, because you can see they have great chemistry with each other. And it is evident, because look what they put on. What is that, number two? Number two between these two? Number two match? Or number three? Number two.
I think
Without
that's
any
two.
shadow of a doubt, doesn't Drew McIntyre have to get Comeback Wrestler of the Year?
Yeah. And the reason I like, because he came back.
Wow.
I like the fact how he came back, because he didn't just come back to the main roster like Bobby Lashley did. He said when he was coming back, he wanted to go back to what everyone else is coming up. And I think it was smart for him, because he won't be in that position where Roman Reigns is. Because a lot of people feel like Roman Reigns didn't put his time in the independent scene because of his family heritage. He was brought up immediately. With him in this situation, I feel like he went up through the NXT. He did it the right way. And I think the fans are not giving him so much. Like, they're going to give him a crap because he's the heel, but they're not going to turn on him because look how he came up. And look what he's doing right now with the matches with Seth Rollins.
And
It's basically, I never thought I would say something like this, but it's honestly the better version of Diesel Shawn Michaels.
It is.
McIntyre and
Yes.
Ziggler.
And you know what? Yeah.
It's the better version of that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I even said it 3 weeks ago. Remember, I was against Ziggler. He turned me around with one match. I had my foot in the mouth. I was like, okay, I was wrong about him. And he continues to impress me every week. Whether
And
he's in
just
the
like
match or
it
not.
was Diesel that turned on Shawn, it's going to be Drew stomping a mud hole in Ziggler at some point.
And Chris Carson brought up something in chat that McIntyre's going to take over Roman's spot. I completely agree with that. I think at some point they're going to turn and McIntyre's going to be the man on Raw.
Yeah, McIntyre top heel and Roman sadly top face.
Yeah, but
It is what it is.
something's telling me Ziggler's going to make the turn. Like, he's going to turn on McIntyre. I don't know why. I'm starting to get a little sense of that. When it does happen, it's not going to be Drew doing it to him. It's going to be Ziggler.
I'm kind of sensing a triple threat at SummerSlam.
For what?
I would love it to turn into a triple threat.
Oh, no, I don't think he's going to turn on him now. When he does.
I just love it as a match.
Yeah.
Talk about a gold triple threat with I would be actually. And usually, I'm not very big with triple threat matches, but that's one I would actually like to see.
Well, and I mean, we're kind of getting to that time of the year where the pay-per-views are a little bit weak, heading towards
It's summer,
the Royal Rumble and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
And-
that may be one that they're putting in their back pocket just to get them through to your
I'm
next
just kinda
show.
curious, what is Drew's role going to be? Is he really just going to be in Ziggler's corner at SummerSlam and that's it? After headlining all these Raws week after week, now he's just going to go sit on the sideline for SummerSlam, though?
I don't know.
And once again, we're talking about Raw. So
Yeah.
all bets are off.
The Great One did make a good point. He said the issue, the logic is Roman was in NXT. Yes, he was in NXT, but did he do the independent scene? That's what the average fan sees in the WWE universe. They saw everyone in Ring of Honor, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Tyler Black with Seth Rollins. I'm sorry. I'm used to saying Tyler Black. I apologize. All those guys coming through the Ring of Honor system or any other, name any independent fed. And then they went through NXT and up. Roman just went through NXT and made his way up. It's commendable because when you really think about it, he does have to answer to his family at the end of the day. That's something that a lot of people, because I heard someone made a good point on the show I listened to, Busted Open. They said, he has to answer to his family. There's nothing worse than that. So if he doesn't go over, and then he has to answer to his family.
Mm-hmm.
Sika. I'm sorry, I had to think of the name. His father. But, yeah. So with that, that's what the fans are talking about. Because he didn't come up through the independent scene. He just went through NXT. He was already in the company. That's all I got to say about that. But, all right. Well, we did discuss it was pretty much a perfect finish for two guys. There was... hold on. And we did discuss that. This won't be the last match between the two. What type of match? Oh, here's the thing I wanted to talk about, too, real quick. I'm sorry. I almost skipped it, too. The matches that Ziggler and Rollins had. Do you think it's kind of weird that they went from a normal match to an Iron Man match, now to a regular match again?
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
If so, what match would you book it then?
Give me a triple threat ladder match.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Chris Carson.
Well, you can even set that up on Raw. Just have Drew versus Seth again, and if Drew wins, he gets added to the match, and boom.
That could turn him and make him break off. Yeah.
It seems like they're just continuing with two separate feuds at the same time, with Rollins feuding with McIntyre and feuding with Ziggler. It doesn't feel like he feuding with both of them at once. It almost feels like he's feuding with one week and one the other week. It just feels like they're pushing. I don't know if they're there yet. Obviously, like the one dude said in chat, they're probably not there yet, but God, I would love to see it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Roman doesn't have a true character that we define. He doesn't have a real purpose besides the WWE's purpose. Yeah. But
we
again,
don't need to talk about Roman for 10 hours, though, either.
I know. In a nutshell, there is something there, but I'm talking about the eyes of the average fan. That's why he gets the shit he gets.
So,
I think they need a good throwback Austin McMahon type of feud for Roman. Honestly, Great One, I don't think that will work today. I think it's been done too many times. That's why the Authority kind of failed. The Authority fell apart real quick.
But they already did that feud because they did Roman versus Triple H feud.
Yeah,
So
2016, that's right.
Was he just going to feud with Triple H again? Because he can't feud with McMahon. There's no way.
No.
Maybe if Shane was on Raw and Steph was on SmackDown, then maybe Roman could feud with Shane. But even that, I don't know if anybody would have any interest in. I know I wouldn't. So it would have to be Triple H again. I don't know if you can't duplicate something that was that phenomenal either.
Okay. Well, going along with the match, you said a ladder match, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I kind of wish that they couldn't have McIntyre in the corner. I would love a classic steel cage match between the two. Or, actually, you know what? Better yet, to keep him. If you didn't have him involved, put him in a Hell in a Cell. That would have been a better one. But for an IC title match, I don't think they would ever go that far for an IC title match. Even though,
no, we just haven't seen a one-on-one ladder match or even a triple threat ladder match in a long fucking time. The only ladder matches we ever see are fucking Money in the Bank matches, which they're great. Don't get me wrong, but give me a solid singles ladder match once in a blue moon. I mean, Jesus.
Okay. Well, to me, I think like a good Hell in a Cell would be awesome. That's how you would keep. That's how you would keep McIntyre now. But with the fact that McIntyre is involved, because there was a stipulation to a match and he won, obviously they're not going to go with that. All right, so, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're going to laugh at me for this because what I planned out, or what I was thinking, if it's just going to be Ziggler against Rollins, give me 2 out of 3. A single, submission, then a ladder match to finish it off. Ooh. I would love to see that.
They haven't done one of those with 3 separate stipulations in one night before in quite a long time.
Well, think of the iconic
I think
ones.
it'd be a blast, and this is 2 guys that could pull it off.
3 stages of hell. They did
that would have been a lot better off than the Iron Man match. I know that.
Absolutely.
I thought the Iron Man match was pretty good.
No,
too many falls, that's for sure.
You can't do what Madgrip just suggested right after an Iron Man match because it just don't go together well. But if you had done a normal match the first 2 times and then you topped it off the 3rd time with what Madgrip is saying, then it works even better than the Iron match is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that should have been a finish. But I think in a way, I don't know, it seems like they were going to go with that as a finish at Extreme Rules, but something must have changed where they just like, let's do one more at SummerSlam. In my opinion, it should have ended at SummerSlam. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me, is that they wanted to finish at Extreme Rules, and that was it.
But I got to step away for just a second, guys.
That's fine. It's fine. I just feel like they didn't go that way. Welcome. Matt Hardy's in here.
Fucking shark cage already.
No, in WWE, they'll put Drew in a shark cage. No, actually, the stipulation in the match is that he is allowed to be at ringside, and I don't know. I don't know how they're going to go about this. I guess we'll find out. And if they're going to do like a long-term booking, that if you're going to wait for Rollins and McIntyre at WrestleMania, okay? If you're going to go that route, then I would say you would have to have Drew turn on Ziggler. Then you build that program with him and Ziggler for about a couple of months, just to hold it off. Then you get, and then obviously you're going to have him in a bigger match. Who at that point, I don't know. But you keep Seth involved in some kind of way, because you got to keep that storyline going from now to WrestleMania. And that was the thing that Daniel Bryan criticized recently in the interview, is that they don't have that. He feels that they don't have it in them to do that long-term storytelling. And they say that they cave to the pressure from the social media, the people that complain on a constant basis that no matter what they do, they're criticized for it. They should just say, shut the fuck up and enjoy the product. That's how I feel about that. Obviously, you disagree because I saw you you roll your eyes there, D-Shep.
No, I don't disagree.
Oh, I thought you were upset by that. Okay. All right.
No, that was me agreeing. I think they're going to have to, at some point, if they don't have Ziggler and McIntyre split up, they're going to have to add something else or somebody to this feud. Most people think Dean Ambrose in some kind of way is going to be added to all this, so you can get some kind of screwy finish, have Dean come down, and then you could have him a few months from now turn on Seth or something. I wouldn't expect an immediate turn anymore. As you said, I think they're going to try to draw this all out with Rollins, Ziggler, McIntyre for a while now. So,
and you get your WrestleMania.
Dean come down, you can get a nice solid tag match at the next pay-per-view. Then you can have them on opposite teams at Survivor Series. There's a good way they can drag this all out. Will they drag it out the right way? That remains to be seen. But I believe there's going to be a lot of bumps in this road before we get to the end of the world, or end of the world.
Yeah. Carson says they don't have long-term storylines because their leader, Vince McMahon, is always changing his mind. Yeah, because he changes his mind for what he sees in You don't think like what's said online, even though he's not searching it out, I'm sure it gets back to him in some kind of way, and then calls the audible right away.
I think the problem is that he don't change his mind enough. I would be the opposite of that. And the only reason I say that is look how steadfast he's been with Roman.
Because that's their guy. That's what they want.
No. As far as the character is concerned.
Oh, okay.
What do you see on TV that really has that changing aspect to it? The Alicia and Mickey thing is about the only thing currently right now. This is the age of rematches and repeats and similar promos and everything else. Yeah. So, if anything, I would say McMahon isn't changing his mind enough, and he needs to take more chances like he used to get the product more over. That's just my opinion to that comment.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there, but when your stock is up, you're making money hand over fist. Are you going to change anything? Because you're making all this money. Why would you change it then?
Yeah, if it ain't broke money-wise, don't fix it. I get that. He's making more money now than he ever has before.
Mm-hmm.
Can't argue with it.
Yeah. All right.
We spend the money. He keeps doing what he's doing.
Yeah, for a show that we don't like, we're still talking about it. So let's move along. Go into the next match. Okay, the Revival versus the Leaders of the World. Well, I mean, it was a decent match, more on the side of the Revival. The Leaders of the World, on the other hand, there's one guy that's holding them back. We know who that is. Did we just see the end of the Leaders of the World from that match? We'll start with you, Magriff.
God, I hope so.
Why is that?
I'm just over it. I mean, these characters. It was great for Matt Hardy and TNA, but it's just so over the top, and it's just not going well. Bray Wyatt was already hurting character-wise. I thought this might help him, but to me, it's just killed him even worse. So, yeah, whatever. End them. Send them their separate ways. They're better off feuding against each other than they are teaming together.
All right. What about you, D-Shep? Is it the end?
It was cool for a few weeks, but the biggest problem from the very beginning with this is if you were going to try to recapture the love of what worked in TNA, then Bray Wyatt never belonged in this. They had their match. The feud was ended. Bray should have went to SmackDown. Jeff should have never left. And it should have just been the Woken Brothers. You could have called them. And yes, I know they see Jeff as a single star, and he's a great single star. But if you were going to do this gimmick, it only works with the two that started it. Like when you brought the NWO back in the day, yeah, it was terrible in WWE. Yeah. We all get that. But at least they brought the originals back. It was a fucking chant. This just felt totally wrong from the very beginning.
And they split them up, by the way, yeah.
It was entertaining for the first couple weeks. It got old real quick. I have no interest every time I hear fucking delete anymore. I'm not even interested in it anymore because it just don't feel right.
I'm with you on that because the crowd was into the delete thing for the first 3 weeks. Now you're not seeing as many people doing it in the crowd. What?
Before he went Woken, they were doing delete in the crowd more, anticipated the gimmick than when the gimmick actually fucking started.
Yeah. Good, he looks. Good, he looks terrible in the ring. No offense, Woken Matt Hardy, which is in chat. Sorry, Woken, but okay, I'm with you with that. But then Woken Matt Hardy, I was getting to that point. There is a tweet that Matt Hardy tweeted out earlier this week, thanking the fans for what, his time in early part of the WWF run, then being the voices for his comeback in 2005 with the time at TNA and then coming back in WWE up to the Woken character. And he thanked all the Woken Warriors, is how he's put it. Are we seeing the retirement of Woken Matt Hardy? And when do you think they're going to announce it if he is?
Well, by the way he moves in the ring, you would think he already had 2 hip replacements. So I sure hope so.
I think both the brothers are gone within a year.
Okay.
They should have never been split up. Period. This was always, in my opinion, going to be a 2, maybe if everything went right, 3-year return at the most, and they were going to get out of Dodge. But then they wanted to get Jeff as a singles guy again for one last run as a singles guy for a year or 2, and that's what we're stuck with. So because of that, they never wanted Matt. They wanted Jeff back all along, and Jeff wasn't signing without Matt. So they were kind of forced into this whole Woken gimmick in the first place. They didn't want to deal with that fucking lawsuit with TNA either. But they were forced to because of how much they wanted Jeff to be a singles guy again. So they're stuck with Matt. Hopefully everything goes down the way we think it is. And honestly, I could care less about either of them at this point. I hope they're both gone.
I think
I agree.
I think Jeffrey, you got to get the last match with the last run with Randy Orton. I think that's when you're gonna finally see the end. Probably this triple threat.
Epic return when they returned.
It was. They got a great pop.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
I fangirled out a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I was really excited, but as soon as they started teasing Woken and started talking about splitting them, yeah, I could care less.
All right. Well, real quick.
They were hampered by Jeff's injury soon after the comeback, though. I mean, that did hurt.
Woken says WWE messed up on putting the Hardys on SmackDown. Originally great tag teams on that brand. Yes, they should have been. They really focus on the tag teams on SmackDown more than Raw. Real quick though, with the Revival, I mean, they're back in the picture again. It looks like they're going to be facing the B team for the tag titles, probably at SummerSlam. You see that build come up in the last month, whereas they were beating Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. You started to see it. Like, all right, they beat those 2 big guys on the roster. Now they took on the leaders of the world. Is the B team's time coming up as tag champions? We'll go with you, D-Shep. I know you're the big fan.
Nope, it's not up with the Revival. At least I God fucking hope not.
Okay.
The only feud that should break this all up would be AOP, but only if it's done right. And
yeah.
By the time AOP gets the match, it should be practically a squash match against the B team, and they should just take them the fuck out in a 3 to 5 minute match. But if you have Revival beat them, where's that leave the AOP? And that's fucked up. So,
yeah.
I hope not. I really need B team to clutch this one out.
Okay, what do you think, Magriff?
Well, we are on the same page on this one. B team's keeping those titles till AOP comes up and takes them. I'll just make it short and sweet.
And for once, I agree with both of you. I'm not on the opposite end this time. Okay, I was just curious of how you felt with that. All right, so we're going to move along to the main event of the evening, which it wasn't really a match, but it was the epic return of the Universal Champion. Finally.
I forgot what the title looked like.
Oh, so did I. 4 months since we seen him at the greatest Royal Rumble. Here he is returning to what you thought was to help his friend, but of course, it didn't. He ended up attacking Paul Heyman, but throughout the course of the night, he was being a real dick to Paul Heyman. Now, everyone's thinking, oh, this is obviously a swerve. This is to get people, oh, he's going to turn on him. He's going to turn on Brock. He's going to get pissed. No.
Like he turned on CM Punk in that ladder match. That's what he's going to do to Brock. Yeah, okay. Like, even if Heyman hit it, just smack Brock as hard as he possibly could, it wouldn't even put a dent in him. So, no. I'm not buying it for a second. I don't think anybody else is. And I think that they teased it all night, but then still did it with the whole grabbing his pushing him down shit.
I can't breathe.
I think pretty much was I think that was the giveaway that this isn't organic, as you guys said earlier. This is just smokescreen.
I don't think he's going to turn on him.
No,
he's definitely not going to turn on Brock. But I know for a fact he's not walking out with that title. I have my feelings. I don't know if I said it to you guys. I don't know if I said it last week, but I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. Kevin Owens is walking out with that title. And it's going to be because of Dean Ambrose. That's my feeling. But you're not going to see them as a faction together. At first, I kind of like, oh, maybe it could happen. Because Kevin Owens always had to have that second guy where he had it with Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho. Maybe this time somehow they can make him and Ambrose work together and make Ambrose a heel. Because I seen him as a heel. He did some great work as a heel. But but no, you don't have to go that route. Because I could just build a program between him and Roman. Because I feel if you give the title to a guy that's hated by the universe, that beat a guy that was never around, what is that going to do for the title? At that point, you should just get rid of it. Bring the big gold. Because there's no point in trying to rebuild a title if you're going to give it from one guy that was not around to a guy that's hated by the universe. You got to have that in-betweener. And the guy that never got his rematch should get it back for a little bit. And then if in time, maybe Roman will beat him. You just got to have that transitional period to bring that title back up to the way it used to be. Do you agree? Or I mean,
Yeah.
if you have anything, let me know. That's
Well,
that.
no,
And
I want to see the world title back. I've had enough of the universal title. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if when we do get a new champion, they do that and introduce it as the new belt. And I would honestly, if you're going to have anybody do it, I would have Ric Flair do it. Because he was the one that was most, for that title, that belt.
yeah,
So if you have him do the presentation to crown the new champion, here they do that all the time. Remember when Rock won the belt? He got a new belt, and it seems to always be when the title changes. So could I see that? I would like that.
yeah. But you know what? Bring in another title. It's like, really? Think about this. Like, right now you got the NWA. That brand is slowly being built back up by Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. Okay, that title that guy is Nick Aldis is holding. It's been around for how long? 60 years. That same design, at least. How many versions of the WWF title, WWE title have we had since then? Probably a dozen, maybe more. Maybe you want to build something, and I think you should build something and keep it that way. But when you have a damaged title, you got to bring it back in some kind of way. And it's not just getting rid of it. I think it's the easy way out. Have a transitional champion and give it more time to do whatever you need to do with Roman. And maybe when he finally wins it, it gets to be something. And the title won't be so damaged anymore. I think in transitional champions, that's the way they should go.
Until McIntyre takes over.
I honestly would love for him to win the title, but not right now. I think Owens should be that guy. Because again, it should be the guy that never got the rematch when he lost to that overrated, god-awful wrestler, Bill Goldberg. I never liked him. I never liked Goldberg. Never will like him. If they do that, KO will be cowardly heel again instead of the cagey heel. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I love that kind
that's
of
what
heel.
I was saying. That's the word I was trying to think, the cowardly heel as opposed to the regular heel.
I agree with that too, Chris Carson, because the big gold belt did lose a lot of prestige with the people that held that. A lot of people would say Mark Henry.
Hashtag Christian for peeps on Twitter.
Yeah, and a lot of people say Mark Henry. Here's the thing, real quick. Do you think Mark Henry, bad champion, deserved the shot?
Nope.
I thought he was.
I don't think he was a bad champion.
I watched
The
a little
way
bit of that.
They held out probably a lot longer than they should have. He should have probably gotten a lot sooner than
Definitely.
he originally did. But no, it was odd the way he finally got it. But yeah, he was deserving.
Okay.
I was happy to see him get a run.
All right. Well, that is the end of that. Real quick, before we go on to the SmackDown, we're gonna rate Raw, and we're gonna start with you, D-Shep. What would you rate Raw this week from 1 to 5? What do you got?
Well, if you asked me a couple days ago, I was going to say like a 1, 1.5, but I'm leaning towards a 2.5 just after talking about it. There was more stuff once I had time to digest that I thought were a lot better than maybe my initial thoughts, so I'd give it 2.5.
Okay, where you go with McGriff? 1 to 5.
I'm gonna go with the 2, and it's basically just gonna be based off Drew McIntyre and Rollins. I think they made the show, so I'll give it a 2.
All right, I'm going to go with D-Shep, though, who give it 2.5 because of what you said, though, Matt Griff. Great match with them. But you also got to take into account, like we said earlier, you didn't have to have a match to build on the storyline. That's why I give that extra half point, because that great build for the Kevin Owens Braun Strowman match, I loved that. It was like watching the Brother Love show and something happening to build on the storyline. It was an old school way, and I'm glad they went that way. I go with a 2.5 on that. All right, and welcome New Japan Pro Wrestling fan. Love that promotion. Right. So we're gonna move along to the A show. Well, hold on.
Pause.
Oh, hold up.
Just because I don't want to die in the middle of the night.
Here we go.
I want to start this as we start SmackDown.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna try to struggle through my opinions while doing this. So you just keep talking like normal. I'm gonna open this up.
As you watch a guy just die on stream. This could be our last one, folks.
if I, as you can see, not open. They're all sealed. We're starting out.
Okay. We know you're not a magician.
It's just Carolina Reaper powder, straight simple.
Oh, fuck that.
Sure.
We're gonna get this open just enough and bottoms up.
God.
Get the fuck out of here. Come on, there's got to be some sort of effect already.
You're waiting for an effect?
Oh, yeah, we are. Before I go on.
That's kind of what I was thinking, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go check on a little one real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to see if this guy, and then we'll go on to the next one. Keep 911 on speed dial, exactly. Chris Carson, not bad champ, but get overshadowed because that day we were super raw, super assured instead of the brand split. Yeah.
Just hit.
Yeah, I see it.
Just a hiccup.
Oh, get out of here. Well, I know you Wisconsin, you were your bratwurst and your chili. You're pretty big up there with chili, too, aren't you? Because us Philly people, we're not. Right. We're little bitches, okay?
Scorpion, Butch, Tea Pepper, Carolina Reaper powder.
All right, so we're going to go along with this show. Better have a gallon of milk, exactly. He wanted to do this to entertain you guys, so here you are.
Ooh.
You okay? There's nothing wrong with New Japan Wrestling, my friend. We're gonna be starting the show talking about that at another time slot, so stay tuned for that.
That one's not as bad.
This motherfucker. Me, I would be crying right now. That's me. I'm a puss when it comes to that kind of stuff. Welcome back, 13200.
That really wasn't bad. That was.
Oh, that was.
Tea Pepper, Carolina Reaper powder. My wife brought me the milk just in case.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. All right. Well, there was that. That was like a horrible payoff. Nothing. He just ate it like a champ. What the hell? We were hoping like we start talking about SmackDown, then all of a sudden you see him just keel over and be like, oh, he will be missed. Another tragedy this week in the wrestling world.
What's this one?
We will miss
what
our
the
new.
Hell is chocolate Buddha?
I don't know, dude. This is a horrible payoff.
Oh God.
Well, that didn't sound good.
Smelling that one.
Oh boy. Yeah. Come on. Oh, come on. It's cool. Most people don't watch your ass will be on fire. Or if he'd be like the Eddie Murphy skit. So you tell me you have a burning sensation when you urinate? No, I shoot flames out without piss. That'll be you tomorrow. Unless if you shit, and then you're going to shit out flames. I'll go with great one on that one. All right, so let's move along to the next show, and let's see how long he can last here. Opening segment, Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch leading up to their title match at SummerSlam. Alexa cut a pretty good promo, you know, getting a sob story, getting people on her side, and immediately turns on them. Great thing.
Carmella.
What did I say?
Alexa Bliss. It was on the rundown, too.
Carmella. I had too many things thinking at that time. I wrote these up pretty quick. I do apologize. That's what I meant. You cheated. You drink right until after you do them all. You cheated.
I didn't take the drink until 30 seconds. That's the rule.
Oh, okay. Oh, there was no payoff to that. I thought I was going to lose a fifth or sixth cousin on the show here.
You can't drink until after you do them all. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He's done. I think the milk probably made it worse. Yes, a payoff. It's a payoff. All right, so let's go. Alexa Bliss, I do. Carmella, I think she did a great job in that skit. So let's ask the champ here, D-Shep, what did you think of the opening segment?
Becky
Let's get it out. Go ahead. Oh, hold on. What? What's your thoughts?
I can't buy into the Becky Lynch thing. The Charlotte aspect of this whole thing, fuck it. Whoa.
Oh, his eyes are watering.
Fuck that shit.
He's going to bail on the show. Good night, Joe. Thank you for stopping by, buddy. Shout out to Demi Lovato, who wish her a speedy recovery. How about that? That's what he wanted in chat, and you got that, Joe. What did you think of the opening segment? Now that he ran off on the show.
Oh, man. I got to say, I'm kind of with you with Carmella. Carmella keeps improving every single week, especially on the mic. She's phenomenal. She plays a heel character great.
I think so too, especially with the. Go ahead.
As for Becky Lynch, I love what Becky's doing. I just hate how they keep knocking her down. It pisses me off. Charlotte had her 2 chances at a rematch.
Yeah.
Let's make her go through the ringer just like everybody else does. Not just throw her in title match. We talked last week about, I forgot who, Samoa Joe just being thrown into a match.
Yeah.
They're doing essentially the exact same thing with Charlotte.
Yeah, but do you think this is backlash?
Return and get a chance to get in a title match right away. No.
It's stupid.
I think it's a reaction to, there was a lot of backlash online about her. And it just seems that way because there was a lot of backlash about Carmella and Becky Lynch in the match. There was a lot of backlash. Then the very next week, all of a sudden, Charlotte's inserted into the match. It just seems to me to reacting to the backlash. There was a lot of hate on the internet. I've seen a lot on Twitter. Because all I put is Becky Lynch, and dude, look at the tweets. It's brutal. And it must be discouraging if she was to go there and read all that. It was pretty brutal. So I don't know if it is a reaction to that. And I wish they would just stop doing that. Because you're giving the fans too much power over your product. It's either they're going to like it or not.
You're also saying you want them to change when stuff is going bad, and then when they do, people are still unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know why they did that. Because I know there was a lot of hate about it, but I don't know if it's a reaction to that or they initially planned for that to happen.
So I mean, which way would you rather see it? Would you rather see the triple threat or Becky Lynch against Carmella one-on-one?
Becky Lynch versus Carmella.
Becky Lynch, yeah.
And that's me too. So I don't get the backlash, but
what is this, SummerSlam triple threat?
Yep.
It's gonna be SummerSlam triple threat. All matches are gonna be triple threat. That's what you're seeing. You're obviously gonna see that with the U.S. title. You possibly might see that with the Universal title.
We hope with the Intercontinental.
You might see that with the Intercontinental. So, I don't like that. But if that was a reaction, then why do they push Roman? Well, that's a different story. New Japan. Again, I just find it weird that they inserted her when I saw that reaction. And because I was happy for Becky Lynch. She was the first SmackDown champion. She was pushed down for a long period of time. Here's her chance to come back up again. And then here comes Charlotte. She's back, and she's thrown into the mix. And to me, I would be insulted by that. It's like you can't trust me and Carmella to have that match. Whether Carmella's not that strong in the ring, she is improving in the ring. I still feel that Becky Lynch has enough experience to be able to carry that match between the two and make it look good. But I don't know if you guys feel the same. You feel okay? Hardy Nakamura for SummerSlam. They already didn't announce that, but dude, Randy Orton's so being inserted into that match. It's gonna be a triple threat. That's a given by the storyline. Okay, so D-Shep, we did get your. How you feel about that? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna move along to the tag team tournament for determine the number one contender for SummerSlam. The Bar versus the Usos. Pretty good match, I thought. I thought it was a good match. We'll start with Matt Griff. What were your feelings on that match? What's up, Jasmine?
I like the match. My problem with it is where it's leading to. We're going to have the Bar against the New Day. I would have much rather this been flip-flop and seen the Bar against New Day this week, leading into the Usos and the Bar next week. I think that should have came after the fact.
Completely
That's my
agree
only
with that.
issue.
100% agree with that.
Okay. So you felt like the matches were placed wrong. It should have. Okay.
Absolutely. We've seen the New Day running everything for way too long. And I know we saw that from the Usos, too. But right now, as it stands, I would much rather see the Usos in a higher profile than I want to see New Day. I want to see New Day kind of split their own directions.
Yeah, we talked about that in the previous show. Nighthawks, welcome, man. Okay, no problem, Nighthawks. Thank you for popping in.
What's up, Nighthawks?
Yeah, make sure you give him. Well, do we even have to say that? Anyone in here, I'm sure, is probably already following this guy, but just for the hell, give it. Nighthawks24 in chat. Make sure you give him a follow. He has a great universe. Make sure you follow him. It's very entertaining. Moving along. Are you looking forward to the New Day Bar though? Even because you know what the potential is between the two. The Bar, very good tag team. Two great, successful individual wrestlers. Now they're teamed up, and they had their success as a tag team. Do you feel that you will see an entertaining match next week on SmackDown?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think it will be entertaining. You've got great athletes coming into this match. They always put on a show. It's going to be a good match. It's just not the match I was hoping to see.
Yeah, and they kind of missed the boat on that plenty of times. And it might be done on purpose for a reason, because it seems like they're going to build on New Day and Sanity for another match. Probably going to be a kickoff match again, kickoff show match between them two. But what about you, D-Shep? Looking forward to it?
Not really, to be honest. I just think they kept the Bar off TV for too long, that their whole inclusion in this whole tournament just doesn't feel right from the very beginning to me.
Well, the reason for that, sorry to cut you off real quick. I'll explain why they were off the TV for so long. They were the ambassadors for the WWE during the World Cup, and they were two big soccer fans, so that was the reason. Because if you've seen all
I get that. Yeah. I get that, but I have no interest in a New Day versus Bar match.
All right, well, who do you think at this point will win now? Who do you think they're going to face?
You guys, I would hope the Bar, but I have a feeling it's going to be New Day.
What do you think, Matt Griff? New Bar? New Day?
New Bar? That might be a fun team.
Yeah, that would be a good faction.
I'm going to go opposite there. I think it's going to be the Bar.
Okay.
Getting it.
All right. I want the Bar, too, because I'm more into that tag team than the New Day. New Day seems like it's kind of like, eh. It's starting to go on a decline. I mean, not getting the reaction it was a couple years ago, that's for sure. All right, so we're going to move along from it was a pretty good tag team match to a promo from Samoa Joe. Now, he did cut a little deep where he went a little personal with AJ Styles, pretty much saying
that promo was phenomenal.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you.
Highlight of SmackDown. Number one thing I've seen on SmackDown this week.
Okay, first thing. I'll go with you, D-Shep. Did you like it? Obviously, you said yeah, but how do you feel it added to the storyline? Go ahead.
I think it just fit perfect where you didn't have to have that match. You didn't have to have that run-in. It was just the perfect promo if you weren't going to have no physical altercation.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And I said that twice tonight, that you don't need a match to build a storyline.
Be right back.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, puss. Moving along. Magriff. How do you feel? How did you feel about the promo?
I loved it. I mean, you guys have heard me say on the show over and over again, bring realism into the show. And he went after talking about him being a bad husband, bad father. I mean, just laid in. One of the best promos I've seen Samoa Joe cut anywhere in his entire career. It was phenomenal, and it did a lot to build heading into their match into SummerSlam. I'm really excited for that match.
Oh, I'm definitely excited for that match. Yeah, mainly because there was a time period I did not watch wrestling, and I didn't get to see that Samoa Joe AJ Styles match. I of course watched it on YouTube, but I would have loved to see that live, and of course I didn't. Now I'm gonna get to see it. Now, would it be like the level of that TNA match? Probably not, because there is limitations for WWE. But I still think they will put on a good, entertaining match at SummerSlam. And at this point, I thought maybe AJ Styles could walk out with the title, and I think he's throwing up in that background there. Hold on, let's see if we get a reaction there. You throwing up there, you little bitch? Yeah, he is. Hold on. We're gonna let's go silent for a second. I know this is a bad thing to do with either podcast or radio, but we're gonna go silent for 1 minute and we're gonna listen on to D-Shep here.
What?
Nobody's having a kid crying. Okay, it's okay. We know what that's like.
What a challenge.
He failed the challenge. All right. So we're gonna.
Holy fuck. The goddamn burning in my mouth.
Were you praying to the toilet?
Holy fuck.
We heard it.
Well, to be honest, the burning in my mouth started the coughing, and the coughing just stirred everything up. But my stomach feels fine. It's just the roof of my mouth up here. Oh, my God.
Continue with your milk. Way to go,
Now,
Kurt
where
Angle.
are we?
But the great one said that you cheated anyway. So moving along. We'll talk about the promo still. When you went off to throw up like a little girl.
How many people my age have done that successful on YouTube? I'll wait.
I don't know. I don't know any other 50-year-olds that tried that.
This is a young man's game, and I just realized I'm not young no more. So.
No, you're not. And neither am I. All right. So I'm looking forward to this. I thought it was a great promo. I always think realism imitating art. Whether if it's true or not, probably not. He seems like he's a good father, but you brought a personal aspect to the storyline, and I always love that. I loved it in the past. I even like it now, and yeah, like I said, I can't wait for the match. Now, would you think the skit or the segment would have been better if there was a retort by AJ Styles, or do you think it was good as is with no retort until maybe next week?
I think it made it play off more realistic with no rebuttal.
Okay,
it was fantastic. I think they did it absolutely perfect.
Okay, what about you? You agree with that, Magriff?
My notes I wrote down just for that subject.
Okay.
No, let's hear straight from Joe. That's all I wrote on that. It was perfect the way it was. It was great just to see him go out, sell his character. And I'm sure we'll hear something back from AJ next week. So I loved exactly how they handled this one.
And don't you see that we're not complaining too much about this show? And look how long we spent on ripping that. And here we are an hour and a half in, and we're not even done Smackdown. So, yeah, we might have to do something with Raw. Because we spent too long shitting on it. All right, so we move along.
Well, that's because it is 3 hours. There's so much more to complain about. like you've been saying, everybody's been saying for years, if Raw was 2 hours, I don't think we're spending the amount of time that we are on it.
No, it'd be a way better show.
3-segment fucking tag or 3-segment matches with, McIntyre and Rollins, or not. No.
I know what you meant.
I'm done.
I know you're thrown off with the challenge.
Tried.
It's okay. You're thrown off by the challenge. You're off your game a little bit. We'll get you back on it. It's okay. Now, Chris Carson said it's good because Styles hasn't had a real feud that meant something since holding the title. I think the one-off match with Rusev was really good. I think in this...
But this feels like the first real feud.
Yeah, because Nakamura, it was a dream match that they kind of screwed up. They did drop the ball with that one a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they may redeem themselves with this match with Samoa Joe.
What you kidding me?
All right, so we're going to move along to the Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton promo of the night. Now, I think going from one good promo to another, I'll ask you guys, because I feel the way I felt about it. Of course, during the segment, Jeff Hardy came out, called out Randy Orton. Of course, Hardy was attacked by Nakamura. Orton then proceeded to assault Hardy, ripped his necklace off, and then tried to wipe off the face paint with a water, of course, a rag. Tried to kill his identity, like take away his identity. Right away, Matt Griff, what did you think of that? Going from a great promo to that, what did you think?
I love it. Man, Randy Orton is on fire right now.
Yeah, he is.
Everything he's cutting. The only thing I'm not liking about
He's not the only one on fire.
Well,
the only thing I'm not liking about that whole situation is the involvement of Nakamura. I mean, I get it. He's the U.S. champ. We got to have him involved somehow. But he's just getting too much in the middle of it.
That's what I'm saying. There might be a program with him and Orton, probably after SummerSlam. This is like the introduction to it, because think about it. Randy Orton really didn't get that time as like the rematch.
Sorry, I had to look
he went out
up
on injury.
to my cat.
To get his chance at regaining the title was out of the picture. Same thing with look how the one match ended with of course when Nakamura won the title. So you need a little bit of closure from that. Even though you had that match last week on Smackdown. Then you got I think it'll come together, and then at the end, what will come out of that triple threat? You're going to have a program with Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, and I think that would be the end for Jeff Hardy. I think it's some way to get more heat on Randy Orton is when he finally takes out Jeff Hardy, and then Hardy's gone, and then in the eyes of the fans, he's the one that took him away from the fans. That's what I see coming out of that, but I don't know how you guys are interpreting that. I could be way off with it, but how do you...
The main thing I was focused on from SmackDown anyway was when Randy snapped that fucking necklace off. I don't know why, but I thought he was going to, jam it, pretend like he was stabbing him in the throat with it or something.
He's not Joe Pesci in Goodfellas with a pen, okay?
I was
He's just
waiting for that. And I was like... When he started staring at it, I'm like, he's going to take that and whack him with it. And then that didn't happen. So that was really the only disappointing aspect. Yes, I know he wasn't going to actually stab him with it, but it would have made badass TV if it made it look like he was.
Well,
it would have been, but you got to remember, this is a show that's going on Fox next October, okay? So they're going to have to...
He was just putting his finger in his ear hole a couple weeks ago, though.
I know, but that's different. That is different from stabbing a guy in the fucking throat. How's that even on the same... It's not... All right, Chad, please, come on.
No, how far that goes into your neck, would you rather that happen or have a grown man put his finger in your ear hole?
The ear hole, because there's not a potential of killing the guy.
No. He got penetrated in the ear by a grown man.
He didn't stick his dick in there. He stuck his finger in there. Oh, I forgot. I forgot the kids behind there. I'm sorry. You got your kid right there. I'm sorry.
God.
I keep forgetting about that. I'm sorry. I do apologize.
No, don't worry about it, man.
Okay. It's his finger. It's his finger. It's his finger. Put in the ear hole. Big difference from stabbing a guy with a freaking necklace. How are you debating that?
I would rather get stabbed because it would be street.
Of course you
rep,
would.
Whereas getting fondled with a finger by an almost 40-year-old man would not be good.
All right, can I ask your wife? She's hearing me right now. Does this man sleep in the coffin? Does this man sleep in the coffin?
Hey, come here. Hey.
Please, help me out here.
If you had one of them big circle things where you put the ear in, you know, it's a big hole you see through the ear, would you rather get someone to play with it and tug at it, or would you rather get stabbed with something very small? Now what? Now what?
She's gonna take your side. Magriff, please help me. Help me, Magriff.
Now what?
Oh, man, we're so far off the rails.
Hold on. No, because we're actually going along through the program pretty quick. But for the love of God, please help me.
Yeah, you can't have the stabbing going on.
Exactly.
I mean, either way, you can't have either. You're not going to have either one of them on Fox. But
New Jack was probably at home shouting, "Stab him, damn it."
New Jack had some gnarly shit on Twitter last week, too. I forgot.
I got you, Chris. Hold on. Go ahead. All right.
New Jack had some gnarly shit on Twitter.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he called him an asshole, but I didn't want to talk about that when we were talking about Brian Christopher and all. Chris Carson said, I think Randy's role was the asshole lurking in the shadows, similar to Ciampa and Gargano. Perfect. That's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so.
Future segment, you know how we did the best IC champions?
Yeah.
Let's do the best heels.
We'll do that next week on the show.
That'd be a blast.
All right, we're going to do a tournament next week on the show. You guys can vote with us, too. Best heels right now. On the roster now. NXT, Raw, SmackDown. Boom. All right, so moving along. Let's move along, okay? We'll agree to disagree, okay? Actually, even though we didn't get Magriff's side on it. Magriff, what do you feel? Stabbed in our ear hole. Come on. You don't have to play. You don't have to play the nice guy. How do you feel?
Just finish me off and stab me.
Oh, you fuckers. I hate you all. All right, we're moving along. Okay, so we're moving along to the debut of Zelina Vega, House of Hardcore alumni, in her first match on the main roster, going against Lana. What did you think of the match right away, Magriff? What did you think of the debut of Zelina Vega? What do you think of the match?
I was impressed by her debut. You can definitely see the talent there.
Oh, definitely.
She was awesome.
Yeah,
she was. What
they're going to do with her in the future, I don't know yet. I'm excited for it.
You know what?
Get Lana out of the freaking ring, though. That's not going anywhere. She's not somebody that gets better every week like they tried to imply over and over again in their announcements. It's just getting boring to me.
I'm with you with that, but I think that's going to set up with an intergender match at SummerSlam. That's what I'm seeing out of this. There's all of a sudden Zelina Vega's in a match, so there's only one reason for that. So we're going to see probably an intergender match, tag match at SummerSlam. You had one at WrestleMania with Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey, Triple H, and Stephanie. Now you're going to have it with these four, which
you know what?
Rusev is good, so is Almas. What's that?
I just had something dawn on me. This is reminiscent of another storyline.
What's that?
This is Hogan, Macho Man, and Miss Elizabeth all over again.
How?
Hey, really? I hadn't even
with
thought about
Aiden
that.
English?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, actually,
Do you not
I had to
see a
think about that.
scenario where Rusev could knock Lana off the ropes in this match at SummerSlam, and Aiden English carry her off to the back.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. Now that you said that, I didn't think about Aiden English in this whole equation, but again, I can see a tag team match between them four. But now that you put that in there, yeah, Aiden English is going to somehow, some way. Oh,
He's
man.
going to be involved somehow.
Yeah, he's going to be involved. Chris Carson said Zelina and Almas better have the WWE Championship and as Women's Championship. Almas definitely WWE Champion. She does.
Talent. You can see the talent.
I actually seen her. They did because House of Hardcore is on here on Twitch, and they occasionally do retro matches where they would broadcast it. And I saw one with her in it. She was even good then. And yeah, you see something with her. I'm glad they're bringing her out. Lana, I'm with you on that. That they should just, you're a manager. That's it. There's a lack of that in the WWE. That's what you are. Again, that it's just they're trying to lump her into the women's revolution, and it's not working. Any last thoughts on that before we move along?
Go back to managing, Alana.
Yeah. All right. We're going to move along to the Ms. Bryan segment. Now, I mean, it was a hit or miss. It was a miss big time last week with the segment they had. Of course, you know, the Miz coming out with his quote-unquote baby, which I knew was fake from the start. And it was just a horrible segment, but yet we all knew it was to, you know, debut the Miz and Mrs. show. Here they are a week later. Do you feel that segment was good and they redeemed themselves from the disastrous one the week before?
I think it was great. Absolutely great. I like the fact Miz not being there.
That was good. Yeah.
Daniel Bryan cut a really good promo for him. It's probably his best promo in a little while, too. And it felt authentic. It was a little cheesy at the end with the baby theme, but the more the baby theme played on and they just left it going, the more I got into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just was a constant rubbing it in, and he just walked away pouting. It was kind of great.
Okay. All right, well, Magriff, what'd you think of that segment? Did they redeem themselves? Home run? Okay.
Absolute home run. And I've come to expect that from The Miz. I mean, he's proven it over and over again. He's phenomenal on the mic. Bryan, we know he's good.
Yeah.
But what he pulled off Tuesday night in that promo, that was some of the best work I've seen him do in years on the mic. It was great segment for the show and really keeps adding layers and layers onto the storyline between those two.
Yeah, it is great, and I'm wondering if there is going to be a WrestleMania match between the two. I feel this one is kind of being rushed, even though they're building it right. I feel it's being rushed because I have a feeling he's not going to resign. I don't know why I have the strongest feeling he won't. Because there's talks about that Total Bellas being over, so what's the incentive of being around? They're talking about canceling that show.
Well, that's because of John Cena.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
What? Okay, they don't have that over their heads. So, what could keep them from not going somewhere else and making good money? With not a busy schedule, he could probably make just as much and not work as many dates. But it's funny how they threw. Go ahead.
I think I'm with you. I think it's rushed, but for a rushed promo,
they're doing a good job with it.
They could be handling it much better.
They are doing a good job with this one.
I agree it's rushed, though. Absolutely. Yeah. You would love to see it play all out over months. It's just that's not what's in the card deck right here. It is what it is. They want to make sure they get that match and then see what happens with them from there.
Okay, given that they mentioned the contract in the promo, do you think it's obvious that he's resigning, though?
I think that makes
it a little more
obvious, yes.
Or do you think they're pressuring them by them throwing it out there?
I don't think that was pressure because he didn't technically have to say it then.
You can throw a jab. It could be used as a jab. I want the Miz winning the WWE.
Absolutely.
Cesar, my initial thing was I thought AJ was going to hold the title to Royal Rumble because here's the thing. I still think in a way, if you don't mind me answering this real quick, I'm sorry, and we'll go along. I said that I wanted AJ. Well, I feel AJ Styles is going to keep the title to Royal Rumble because if you look at the date, they're talking about the record, and no one's accepting that Brock Lesnar's the current record holder for holding the longest reign. If AJ holds that is 435. He will break the record. The day of, and even if he loses it, it still counts. He will break the record. So I feel the Miz is the guy, and I feel like Bryan, if he would resign, would chase him for the title at WrestleMania, and that's what I thought we were going to get, but I don't know at this point. I guess we'll find out September 1st when his contract is up. We got 1 month away, and we'll see what happens from there.
It'll be a mistake.
Yeah, it would be a mistake. Now, even so, even if Brian doesn't resign, are you glad that they gave us this match with the?
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
okay, me too. What do you feel, Magriff? Obviously, you agree with us that you're glad that they gave us this match with the possibility of him not going, resigning.
Is it certain that we're going to see the match? I can almost see them do some kind of Miz doing some kind of shade to actually postpone this match. I think they already have it set in stone that he's re-signing, and I could see them dragging that feud out farther and just teasing us to no end about it.
Wouldn't be a huge mistake. And New Japan Pro Wrestling World Title over WWE World Title. For a brief period, it was the other way around. I agree with you. And Caesar Dab, I'm sorry. I don't know how you go with it. We love NXT here. Just some people don't like 205 Live. And some people do.
Yeah.
You've been watching it for 3 weeks now.
And it's good.
Get over yourself.
It's good.
3 weeks is not
Don't
enough
start
to
with me
make
again, you
good
son of a bitch.
judgment.
You're a son of a bitch. All right, let's go
Hey,
on.
just be happy I'm still alive at the moment for you to call me a son of a bitch.
Well, actually, we were hoping to get some ratings out of this, but that went to shits. Let's move on.
Hey, last I look, we do have 14.
No, we've had a
14
good crowd
people on
tonight.
Twitch.
Yeah, we have had a good crowd, and we do appreciate everyone that's tuning in tonight. Thank you so much. Let's go on to the main event. Charlotte Flair, Carmella. Charlotte wins. She's inserted into the match and making it a triple threat at SummerSlam for the Smackdown Women's title. Of course, Charlotte Flair won. She's in the title match. What did you think of the match right away, Magriff?
It was a good match, and I'm more impressed on Carmella's side that she was able to sell the match. We know what we're getting from Charlotte. She is the best female in WWE right now. So from Carmella, I was very impressed, but it was a good match. I just pushing Charlotte to that point is just not what I'm in favor of right now.
Okay. And well, we're all in agreement. So yeah, I didn't like the insertion of putting Charlotte. D-Shep, you feel the same way?
I just would have much rather have Carmella go over in that scenario to make her look stronger.
Good point there.
To me, if you just look at the main event match from SmackDown the last 2 months, to me this was by far the worst main event match in the last 2-3 months. Was it a decent match? Yeah, I guess so, whatever. But Charlotte gets the main event on SmackDown on her returning week and earns a title match on her returning week. I don't fucking think so. She's great. She is the best female. I get that. But no. Just no.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I still would like to fuck her, though.
Oh, yeah. So, same here. Yeah, no. We're all agreeing with that, at least. I don't know. Magriff? Yay or nay?
Yep. You would fuck Ric Flair's daughter, too, so shut the fuck up.
So you're telling me, D-Shep, that she'll go clam diving?
Hey, that's what gets the biscuit home, then,
Little rated R discussion here on the show. Okay. Yeah. Now, let's move on. Now, we all agree that you feel they robbed Becky Lynch of a match that she would be in the spotlight at this point. Because, honestly,
you absolutely buried the shit out of Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Like Magriff said, Carmella came out strong, though.
Mm-hmm.
She would have came out stronger if she won, but she still came out strong because it was a good match. But you made Becky Lynch just look like complete rundown trash.
Yeah, because it makes it seem like she can't carry the match, and I would take that in a way. The thing I've noticed, though, Carmella lost to both of her opponents in back-to-back weeks. What does that say about her? I mean, I felt that those 2 losses hurt her a little bit. But it also gives you that hope that one of them is going to walk out with the title. Can she somehow pull that swerve and win that match? I mean, swerve as like everyone's thinking that she's obviously going to lose it. She lost to both of them
No,
back to
I
back.
think Carmella's coming out of this hands down.
I think so too. Something's telling me she's going to come out of this.
Not even remotely. I had a slight hope for Becky in a one-on-one match, but in triple threat, absolutely not.
Yeah, the favor's on her because I see her pulling something off, and that's the thing. Like everyone says, like Ciampa's a great heel for NXT, top heels. He's the top male heel right now because of what she does in social media and all. I feel she's the top female heel in the company right now.
She's fantastic.
She is.
She has, in the last 3-4 months, even the Ellsworth stuff to the side, man. She, in this last few months, she just stepped her game up to a whole new level.
Yeah, she did.
No one. If you asked anybody if she had this in her a year ago, they would have told you you're fucking nuts.
All right. So obviously she got the win. We felt how we felt about the match. All right, the conclusion. How would you rate SmackDown 1 to 5? We're gonna go right away with you, D-Shep. 1 to 5. What you got?
Oh, I want to say a 4 so bad, but I'm struggling with the 3.9.
Ooh, okay, 3.9.
Right below 4, just because the Charlotte stuff. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the main reason.
Yeah, that kind of ruins it for me. So, Macgriff, where you go with 1 to 5? How would you rate it this week?
3.5. Same deal. The Charlotte stuff ticked me off, and then the tag teams not being lined up the way I felt like they should have been in the tournament. But 3.5.
Okay, I'm actually going to be more with you this time, Macgriff. Yeah, 3.5. I agree with you as far as the tag team, and I didn't see that until you brought that out on the show tonight, and I see it now. Yeah, I think they should have placed the matches better for that tournament. It probably would have brought more excitement for this tournament and for the upcoming title match at SummerSlam. The Charlotte thing, I feel they're screwing Becky over, making it feel like she can't carry the match. That's what ruined it for me. Other than that, everything else was great. The promo from Joe, the promo from Jeff Hardy, and the attack from, obviously, Randy Orton. Everything else was great and a really good show, and that's why I've been saying this. Raw should be 2 hours. And then why not give the women a third hour? Give them the third hour. You got 205 Live. That's right after SmackDown. You give the women their match, their 1 hour show. I mean, that's what I feel they should do. And I think we'll probably see something like that if the Evolution pay-per-view is a success, which I think it will. The way they've been, way they've been going the last 5 years, I think it's possible. All right, so we're going to move along. Now we covered Raw and SmackDown. We're going to cover, there's a new segment we're going to do. It's What's Got Our Goat and What Do We Love? All right, first thing, What's Got Our Goat? What's the thing that you hated the most on both shows this week? Starting with you, Macgriff.
And we just discussed this, but the burial of Becky Lynch. It's funny to me that she was trained by Finn Balor because we're getting the exact same freaking treatment to Becky Lynch. You are absolutely burying this character, and now there is nowhere to go for either her or Finn Balor. So, just kind of funny that they came in together, and now they're both being treated the same way.
All right. And D-Shep, what's got your goat this week?
Basically, same thing. Becky Lynch, absolutely terrible what they've done to her in the span of 7 days. Jesus Christ. No one's ever fell that fast, that hard. Honorable mention to Roman Reigns as always, though.
All right. And for the first time, it's a unanimous. I feel the same way. The Charlotte Flair thing. And the SmackDown Women's title picture is what's got my goat. They should just give them the one-on-one. All right, so what's the going from what we hated to what we love? Macgriff, what was the thing you loved the most this week out of the two shows?
There is a couple things, but this is going to be weird that what's got my goat is SmackDown and what I love is on Raw.
Oh.
It's completely weird.
It is weird.
But I got to roll with Rollins and McIntyre. These two have a chemistry inside the ring. What they're doing is just phenomenal. Like D-Shep said while we were reviewing it, get your popcorn, set back, and enjoy. And I do every time they face each other.
All right. D-Shep, what did you love this week between the shows?
I struggled with this one because the easy answer obviously is Rollins and McIntyre for obvious reasons. But I'm actually going to go with Orton. I
okay.
can eat up everything that he's been doing lately. As much as I did love the Rollins match, it's just that different excitement factor of the unexpected. Like, we expect that great match from McIntyre and Rollins. We know what's going to deliver, so we just kick back and relax. Whereas Orton, the gnarly shit he's doing now, we just don't know what's coming next. And it's just beautiful.
Okay, and you know what? I'm with you on all that, guys. I did love the storytelling and how they built up the stories on SmackDown, but believe it or not, because it was shocking that it happened on Raw, my thing this week, it was the Braun Strowman Jinder Mahal match. The fact that they told us, they pretty much brought the stipulation out there. They really told the story great right there. Like, I love how they did that. They added on to the story with the stipulation. And coming from the SmackDown writers, that's why I love that the most, because it's like, wow, they actually did something without doing a match over and over. So by the time it came to the pay-per-view, it didn't mean shit because they faced each other 3 times on the build to it. Like you've seen with Baron Corbin and, what's his name? Finn Balor. So that's my moment that I like the most this week. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, now let's go into what we call the list. This is the Go Home Wrestling Show's version of the Power Rankings, 5-1. We do it every week, and most of the time, I don't think we have agreed unanimously 5-1. So we're going to start with Magriff this week. What is your list, my friend?
Well, I'm going to make D-Shep's day with number 5 right off the bat. I'm going to put Roman Reigns in my top 5 for the first time.
Wow. Okay.
Like we talked about, I think he got a little bit better on the mic, a little more believable this time. But just for the simple fact that he actually got some cheers in the show, I got to give him top 5 for it.
All right.
The other guys are kind of the normal crew. Drew McIntyre at 4. Daniel Bryan, I'm stepping up to number 3 this week because of what he did in that promo.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins, I think I've had him at 2 for the past 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 1, Randy Orton, the way he's building this character, it's unbelievable. I love what Orton's doing.
Okay, that's not a bad list. All right, so we got his list. D-Shep, hit us with your rankings, my friend. What's on your list this week?
I got to go with the first shocker at number 5, and that's Alicia Fox.
Wow.
I was just highly entertained.
No NXT, sir.
And also, just, you don't know what's coming next. And it's a unorthodox version of what Orton's doing. Maybe not as gnarly, obviously, but it's the unexpected factor. It's awesome in today's wrestling that we can still have characters like that. Number 4, I got Baron Corbin because as much as I really didn't care for the long, drawn-out match, he's still clicking on all cylinders as of now anyway.
With his character, yeah.
It hasn't gone too stale yet.
No.
So, and then at number 3, I'm going to go with a tie here because I think you could pick either guy, and that's Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Battery warning on there, sorry. So yeah, Seth and Drew both at number 3, just simply because I think you can go either way on that. I got Samoa Joe at number 2 because that absolutely fantastic promo. And then obviously, as always, I got my boy Randy Orton at number 1.
Okay. Now, you're going to disagree with mine.
No, I know. I already seen that shit.
Number 5, I am going to go with the Bar. Big match for them. I feel they're going to go into the SummerSlam challenging the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Tag Champions. They had a pretty good match. So I put them in number 5. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars, okay? This is August 5th, 2018. Brock Lesnar is at number 4. Main reason because I actually did like what he did that night. They pretty much the arrogant.
You mean showed up?
Yeah, well, besides showed up, what he did throughout the course of the night, I felt he did a good job. With the end, I think it did pay off in a way. Where they go with it, we don't know. But yes, I put him at number 4. Number 3, Baron Corbin. Great. I felt he had a good match with Finn Balor. It's starting to get a little stale, though, but still a good match. He's still getting comfortable with his role. I see him being in this role for an extended period of time. I think he's doing a good job with it. So he's at number 3. Number 2, yes, I'm going with Seth Rollins. He did win by DQ. You put them both together. I know what you did, D-Shep, but I'm going with Seth Rollins for the fact that, of course, he did get the victory over McIntyre, even though it was a DQ. Again, knocked it out of the park. Seth Rollins, number 2. Number 1, she beat the champion to get a shot at the title. Despite I don't like it, but you got to give her credit. Number 1 is Charlotte, because who had a better victory overall throughout the course of the week, though? Did anyone beat the WWE champion, women's champion, Smackdown, Raw? No. The only one that, Smackdown, I'm sorry, Raw's women's champion. The only one that had a victory over a champion was Charlotte Flair. That's why I put her number 1. So that's how I'm going to defend myself before anyone jumps on me. Because I know it's going to get to that point.
Brock Lesnar and Charlotte Flair.
Yes.
Dang.
Hold on. I'm going to stop watching now. No way he just put Brock in the top 5. I'm sorry, I have to. You got it.
Wow.
Only because Ciampa's on the list there. Yeah.
I did debate
Yeah,
it.
Chris
You know
Carson
what?
saying
I
Ciampa.
put Alicia Fox at 5 over Brock. I thought about it.
All right. Well, here's the thing. He did address that, though. NXT. Should we add that? Because I feel NXT will probably take over that top 5 list almost every week.
Well, I guarantee you, if they're on the list, I'm right there with Chris Carson. Tommaso Ciampa is straight fire right now. He would be number one on my ranking right now.
How about this? Start next week? Which means you're going to have to watch NXT, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay? And don't forget, this man here, MagGriff, does Griff XT Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He does a review of all the NXT shows that happened prior. Very good analysis. And so make sure you check that out. 11 p.m. Thursday nights. So, yeah, I think, how about this? Start next week. We add NXT, guys. Are we in agreement with that?
Okay.
I'm all in on that.
Okay. 13,200. Oh, first viewer. Top 5. Okay. Adam Cole. Roderick Strong. Cole. Adam Cole. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Go ahead.
13,200 just for you. I got the shirt on, man.
Dude, I love that shirt. Actually, they have a good sale. I'm going to get a couple shirts. It's like half off for today and tomorrow. So you get two nice shirts for the price of one. Just saying. And I know you got your little warning on your thing. So how about this? We'll run this real quick. The final segment, the main event of the evening. This is what we call fantasy booking. We're going to book historical moments in professional wrestling. And we're going to run through this pretty quick because we're going over 2 hours here. The first event, the NWO third guy. Real quick, MagGriff. Would you have gone with him, or would you go with someone else to be the third guy of the NWO?
I really struggled with this one, but I don't know how. I guess maybe you could have used Sting, but I don't see how that's going to go over any better than Hogan finally flipping the switch, becoming a bad guy. So with that said, I would have kept it exactly how they flipped it. Hogan is third man.
Okay, what about you, D-Shep? Would you change it?
I would change it, but I'm torn on what I would change it to. I honestly never thought of Steen or even remotely consider it as a good fit. My two initial thoughts when you first brought this up was, number one, if they could have lured HBK. Had they been able to lure HBK over, I think that he could have filled the Hogan role absolutely perfectly. You could have basically did all the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have went with that. But if you were going to go with the WCW guy, I think Hogan was the best. But if there was an alternative WCW guy, I would have went with Ric Flair.
Wow. Flair.
Yeah. Well, you got to think about it. That main guy had to be a mouthpiece and an icon. So that's why everybody thought it was going to be Steen. Then they switched it up at the last minute to Hogan. But Ric Flair in that same role or Shawn Michaels, I think would have just been as fire. So, but I think Hogan at the end of the day was the best choice, though.
All right. I was going to go with Sting. But when you said Flair, I really, when you explained that, wow, that would actually have been really good. That would have ripped the heart of the WCW out of there. That would have killed him. But I'm still going with Sting because he was one of those guys that was like Ric Flair. He was the heart of the WCW. And for him to turn, I think would have been great because, and Great One is right. Yeah, he was originally set for it, but they considered what if it would have been Hogan, and they went with Hogan. Even though it was a good thing, but I'm just curious if you guys would have went another way. That's all the reason we went with that. So we all kind of agree that they could have went with someone else, but Hogan was the right choice. Now, the number 2 thing tonight, Stone Cold turned on the WWE or WWF at Invasion. They had that 5-on-5 match. Of course, at the end, Stone Cold turned. Was that a good move? Or who would you do it if it wasn't him? I'll go with you, D-Shep.
I originally had a bunch of guys written down. I had everybody from The Rock, Triple H, even Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
But honestly, the more and more I think about it, I think they made the absolute right decision because it had to be a tweener guy. You know, a heel, sometimes a face, sometimes, and Stone Cold was perfect for that. Everybody else, at the end of the day, you would have just felt like you were missing something. If it was The Rock, you wouldn't have been able to really believe in it as a heel. Same with Kurt Angle at the time. Maybe the best alternative could have been Triple H, but honestly, I think they did it just right.
Bang, bang, Mr. Sacco. Welcome to the show. Matt Griff, who would you go with?
Well, I'd need about 12 hours to rebook the entire Invasion angle.
Well, if you would go with just this particular show, this match.
Yeah. And y'all are going to get a kick out of this one. Ken Shamrock is the guy I would have gone with.
Wow.
And the only reason being is that this is the perfect opportunity to flip Shamrock and make him the badass that he really was. I think it would have been a fun angle to go with.
Okay. That's unique. Because right before that Invasion, he kind of flipped and left the company. And if they would have kept him, I could see that. That is a really good choice. If it was me, it kind of would seem obvious. But who else would be a better guy? Like you said, that in-betweener, Chris Jericho. Because think about this. Who joined 1999?
WCW and ECW.
Exactly.
I didn't think of Jericho.
1999, he came into the company. How would you know that he was the guy that was to infiltrate the company? And then when the time was right.
That actually, I think that is better than Stone Cold. To be honest, the more I think about it, that's a perfect fit.
And honestly, if that would have worked, and then I think when he became the undisputed champion, I think it would have had more. I think it would have been a lot better for him.
Yeah,
it would have had more heat.
The WWE top 2 guys. Yeah,
exactly.
I like that.
I thought about that in the past. I was like, who they could have done besides him? Because even a lot of people said that was the bad choice putting Stone Cold in that position. But that's who I thought would have been the next best thing. All right, so finally the last one for the evening, and then we're going to end the show right here. The Montreal Screwjob. My question is to you guys: how would you change the ending? And if you could, how would you do it?
I would have a clean finish would be my number one choice, obviously. But if anything else were to have happened, I would have had someone like Triple H interfere to help Shawn win the match in a somewhat dirty fashion. I wouldn't have done it the way they did because it felt very ugly at the time. It still does if you watch it. Just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have went with either interference or preferably a clean finish.
Okay. What about you, Matt Griff?
And I've struggled with this one, just knowing the story, how Brett wouldn't work with them to give up the title. So what I was thinking of is maybe they could have had Shawn win the match under disqualification, where Brett just does something so heinous to Shawn to get disqualified that he gets the title